legends. Let's hope this one works. I just tried to upload before and it had a technical difficulty in my internet, dropped out. So now I'm just going to check to make sure my phone at the other end is legends. Oh, yes. Let's hope this one works. I just tried to upload before and had a excellent. All right, we're on. Beautiful. Okie dokie. So today, I don't know if you've watched the other video or not, with this vehicle, pinion bearing pooed its pants, destroyed the crown wheel pinion, had heaps of water in the diff, this muddy, disgusting substance. Inside the diff is rusty. I don't know if you can see there or not. All that's just surface rust. So we've rebuilt the diff. Now we're going to reinstall it. I'm just going to give this a quick brake clean out. It's obviously going to have a couple of oil changes as well while it's there. I'm still never organised. Where's my brake cleaner? Anywho, how is everyone going on this? What day is it? Saturday. I shouldn't even be working, but show must go on. I have to have this car finished by Christmas Eve, I think. Hope it's Christmas Eve. So I've still got to do the handbrake, shoe replaced, wheel bearing replaced, new axle seals, that sort of jazz. I don't know if you can see. This is our little jig we make up to service the diffs. So when you pull the diff out, you can put it in a vise with this bad boy, and you can rebuild it all in the vise, nice and easy, and then transport it over to the car in a transmission jack. And do what you have to do. Now, rear's not so much, but the front diff studs in these cars like to stretch a little bit over, years of use, pulling diffs out a couple of times if they've been out before, lockers or blow-ups or whatever. Careful when you do this, there can be sharp tin edges which can rip your hands apart. So what happens is the studs stretch. So when you replace a diff center, I always like to replace these studs. Because what will happen is you put your diff center in, and a week later, you wonder why it's leaking from around the pumpkin gasket. That's because it's tight, but the studs have stretched, and that allows it to leak past the gasket. On these, I also like to use a genuine gasket, which is quite thick compared to some of the aftermarket ones available. Now, I'll show you something in a second. Remember the other day, well, if you watched it, you may not have, which is fine, but we're talking about this magnet on the old diff, which was missing the magnet part. So what's happened inside, I don't know, but I just noticed there was some carnage in there. So let's have a quick squeeze at said carnage. So you can see something's picked up down here where the crown wheel runs at some point. There's like surface rust. So something's bounced around here at some point. Not sure what. It's probably that magnet. I think someone said they can disintegrate. So let's give it a bit of a clean. Now what we'll do, if you don't have a stud remover or installer, you can use the old 2 lock nut method to remove your studs. Otherwise, if you're fortunate enough to have a stud remover installer, it makes your life so much easier. These little bad boys, you screw them onto your stud, then you lock it up, and then it winds it off. There's wind on your stud remover. Get out of the way, Diff. I like to do the 2 long studs first. I always forget where they go. I mean, it's not hard to work out where they do go when you've got it back together. It's just one of those things that sort of be quicker with a socket. Hope if I grab the right one. You just go to undo it, and then look at that. I need myself a long series. There we go. Oh, look, let's make it even quicker. Now you know how it works. That's how you get your stud out. And then you just get your socket. You install it back in your socket. Get your spanner. Just crack it loose. And repeat. This one's a tight one. Great. One moment. I actually prefer the stud remover to be tight on the stud because these things flog out and cause all sorts of grief. So I don't actually mind. It's just painful when you're trying to film it because you can't see what I'm doing. Now, this one is a stud installer. There's a little ball bearing inside, and you grab your new stud. Now, in this instance, it's going to be a long one. You would screw your stud installer onto the end till it's tight, wind it in, and then once it seats, you can back it off and out they come. But what we need to do here is remove all the studs. So I can't do what I said before because I forgot what I was doing. Can't do that at all. So I'll remember. I've got to clean the face. So we get all the studs out. I'll clean the face. And we'll insert the housing. Yeah, sure, I'm going to play ball this one now. I do have to go the other way. I thought maybe I had it in back to front. But I definitely don't. It definitely wants to come out easier this way though. Maybe it's just a poorly threaded stud. Damn these live videos, you can't edit this stuff out. hot today too. Very muggy. Yesterday was a hot and sticky day. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass. 1 moment, please. I could drag you with me, but it'd take even longer. So I'm just going to wrap this off in the vise. What's everyone else been doing? I've been very active for the last week or so, but I tell you what, have I got some things I need to do. I've got some rear door, barn door locks to put in the 40 series. I've got a new key set for the 40 series. And I've got a brake booster for the 40 series. Because I've noticed recently that as I start it up, it takes a lot longer for the vacuum brake boost light to go out. I thought, oh, that's a bit strange. And then I started to notice when I turn it off, there'd be a slight hiss. I'm like, oh, it's got a boost leak somewhere. So I went on a bit of investigation and thought that it was the elbow where the hose goes in. But it wasn't. It was actually leaking between the booster and the master. I thought, oh no, it's not good. So then I went on a mission to try and find a seal kit for the booster, because it's drum. Oh no, that one didn't. Dirty thing. Yeah, couldn't find a seal kit for the booster. So I'm going to do an experiment. I don't know if anyone else has tried it, but I'm going to try and put the double diaphragm booster in with the drums all around using the drum master cylinder. Can't see why it wouldn't work. Oh, this thing's got silicone or some sort of cement holding these studs in. That's going to be a painful exercise. Isn't it good when you do this, a full cut video where it's zap, out she comes. Had a couple of big days lately, especially leading up to Christmas. People wanting stuff done. Things not working the way they should, which is very standard. So there was a few things I wanted to do over Christmas with the channel, because this is my, free time, but not so much. I'm still doing, free time in the sense of doing some stuff on things I want to do for myself, but it's not working just yet. So yeah, I got some things inside. Actually, also too, I got a really cool handbrake mod I'm going to try with the 40 as well, because I was going to go 60 series rear drums and 75 handbrake cable and stuff like that. But then I found something else, so tune in for that when I do it. That'll be interesting. God, this thing's been painful. Is someone watching me? Is it a regular or is it a newcomer? So on the diff, the LSD was chewed out. We had some just good second-hand bits to put back in it, because the LSDs are trash in these anyway. And just put a new Cramel pinion in. I think it was out of the customer's budget to install a locker, which is understandable, because this thing's going to be due for calipers, bearings, handbrake assembly. Rotors look okay. And we still have to do some stuff on the front end. I'm not sure much. Yeah, I think it's early next week. It needs to be picked up. So fingers crossed I can get that sorted. I'm also free to answer any questions if you want about anything. It doesn't have to be about diffs or my stuff. It could be about your own stuff. If I see it, I can do my best to answer you. I'll tell you what, this is a good stud remover. I'll give it that. I used to have one, and it's like a two-piece unit, but it had no locking mechanism on it. Literally, was like two nuts, but together, so you thread it through the pair, tighten them up. But then those threads would stretch over time, so it was a bit shit. Hey, how you going? Uckaloogie. Now, you're always here. I appreciate that. Hanging out. I said, it might not be as exciting as some of the other big channels with all the glitz and the glamour, but it's nice. It's fun. As weird as it sounds, it's nice to see a familiar name pop up, you know. I'm I'm so sweaty right now, and I can't have the fan on because it'll make too much noise for the audio. I might be able to open the roller door. I just don't know if I'll get much background noise. Maybe I'll try that. See if it gives me some airflow. Let me know if it gets too noisy, and I'll shut it again. So we get trains going past and airplanes flying around and things like that. I'll pop this open. It may affect the camera also, so let me know if it's affected the view with the light coming through. It'll definitely help me with airflow. Oh, the sun's out. That's why I'm cooking. It was overcast before. Let me see how she looks. I don't know. She's all right. Beautiful. And there's still no airflow. What's everyone doing for Christmas? Anyone going away? Traveling around? Staying at home? I am not going anywhere. Ugh. Oh, it's a little bit faster, but still. Fairies too. What's fairies? What else has been happening? Oh, got a VD here that's broke a bolt and rock cover into the cylinder head the other day. That was fun. It's an XG problem now. LM106 Hilux with a rear diff and wheel bearings, but it's not Troopy related. That'll be on my other channel. But just in this particular, what I'll do is I'll do a live for the diff center install, and then I'll probably do another live for the handbrake. That way it breaks it up into different videos, so it's not like a 4-hour video. I still might do it at the same time, but it's just not going to be a, massive video. I can have a rest in between it, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, well, all the carby cleaner, I had that out before. I'm like, geez, this smells a bit here going. I've been drinking all the water and the hydrolytes and all that sort of stuff because it was like 40 degrees day before yesterday. It was like 35 yesterday. Today's 25, but it's very sticky. But look, even if it's a cheap stud installer kit, I'd still recommend investing in one. You always, at some point, if you're into your own maintenance, you'll always use it for, because I think they go 6 mil, 8 mil, 10 mil, 12 mil. And then you've got all your different pitches, 1.25, 1.5. I think the 6 might even be 1 mil pitch. I think my first set was a Toledo set, which is a good set. I've still got it for an emergency. If anyone wants to know, the part number is 301,000. And that's just a 4 kit, which is a M10 1.5, M10 1.25, M8 1.25, M6 by 1. That's the common sizes, whereas the one I use now is a snap-on one. But that gives you all the different sizes. M6 1, M8 1.25, M10 1.25, M10 1.5, M12 1.5, which is great. And I'm pretty sure lifetime warranty on all the stuff that comes with it. Oh, that's a tight one. That's all right. I'll fix that. There you go. Hopefully you'll get us out. Rinse it out. Oh dear. Well, I've still got heaps of work to do on the blue one. I've got control arms there, which is something else I was going to try and do these holidays. They're a factory style control arm, but they're offset to 2.5 degrees, I think, so you can just run a lifted offset style with a factory bush, which is great. One more left. I might try and get around to that. I've got to put some dashboard stuff back together in it. But I've got to check the heat vent control. That's not doing its thing, which I could probably do a video on. Washer still, the windscreen wipers don't work. There's still a heap of wiring and stuff I've got to pull out of it. Wheel bearings to pack because they're not packed. Brakes to do. Suspension to do. But I'm fortunate enough with that one that there's no rush. So. Now, you don't have to pull the studs out to clean the surface, but as I said, if you're changing to diff housing, your diff center, sorry, it is a much preferred thing for me to change the studs because you don't want to do it twice. And when you got no studs in there, the time it took me just to take those out, which is what, 10 minutes? I don't know. You'd spend longer trying to clean around your studs, and they'll never be spot on. You got to try and get a wire wheel in. Between around all the studs and whatnot, whereas this particular way, we can just get something like this, a good scraper. And scrape away. Hate silicon. No need for it in this sort of stuff. You see there? It's where the stud, that stud's been pulled out, or the thread's pulled out a little bit on that thread where the stud was. Because it's been over tightened, so I might have to hit that with a file just gently just to remove it, because that's going to cause a inconsistent sealing surface. It's not going to be flat at all. Oh, you can see it's terrible. And that one. So what happens is they leak and everyone's like, oh, it's leaking, and they just reef on it harder and harder every time. And all it does is damage. So now I've got to go. I'll get something to help me here. Where is it yesterday? So there's a bit of kerosene or some sort of lubricant. And some emery paper. I did have a little bowl to put my Kero in, but I didn't put it away, and that's just come back to bite me because now I don't know where it is. Oh, hang on, that'll help. That'll do. Great. So, bit of Kero. And some emery. What emery is this? I'm just going to grab some coarser stuff. It's bigger too, it's flatter. So you just need something like this. Doesn't always get your silicone off, unfortunately. Let me see if we get out of the way there a bit. It definitely cling to the surface. Oh, look at this. The worst thing about carrots is it stinks. might help me with my silicon. I guess the beauty of the live now is now it's started, you can skip all that stud removal. But I just don't have time to edit this stuff anymore, so a bit of fast forwarding doesn't hurt. I'll have to clean that centre out a little bit more, but that's all right. All right, file is what I need now. There's a file, there's another file. Yeah, I do. Just a file, it's not too... Sort of want to feel your high spots and the same for your high spots. Now it might get in the way a bit here, but... I'll quickly show you how high that actually sits. Focuses. Focus on my finger, you think? Come on, camera. Focus, camera. I don't know if you can see a high spot there. See where the file's been hitting it. That's how much thread's pulled out of the diff center itself. So just need to reduce the high spot. And look, if the thread ever pulled out, you could always helical it. It's not a big deal. All right. Back to... Yeah, so I couldn't sort of sand that before nicely or scrape it without hitting that surface. I was always taught to make sure everything you work with is clean. You know, you don't want to polish it or anything like that, but you want it to be clean because it's also got to do with your sealing surface. Those dark sections you want to sort of try and sand out, but you want to do it evenly. You don't want to sit there and just rub at one spot and create a low spot. I mean, it's going to take a long time to create a low spot in this thing. Aluminium's a different story, but steel. I don't know if you can see that. You can see a difference between those two surfaces. Clean and dirty. Probably work a bit more on the left, but it's all right. I like to use a bit of a non-hardening aviation sealant on my gaskets. You don't have to, but I do like it. And I guess this is another good thing of seeing it live is, you can actually, I think I've said it before, get an idea of how long it actually should take. Because some people have this unrealistic expectation that things should be a lot faster than what they are, or like even when you get on forums, you say something like, "Oh yeah, that's it might take you 2 hours to do that," and I go, 2 hours? I could do that in 30 minutes, mate. But then when you probably could do it in 30 minutes if you zapped it off and zapped it back in without cleaning anything or changing anything. It's a bit rusty down here where the water's been sitting. Still a bit of junk in there. See, the problem is if you put something back on a dirty surface, the gasket might not stick to it or adhere properly. Gearbox sealant, yeah. We use 3-Bond when we seal cases of gearboxes back together. Or the Worth make a good one too. That's a bit different because those surfaces are designed not to have gaskets from factory. But I just don't like silicon used on things like diff gaskets or axle shaft seals or anything like that. Well, axle shaft gaskets, I should say. It's just it also can cause the gasket to squish out. There's a bit of a low spot actually on that. Just here. That line there. I'm starting to see my sand mark. There's like a lip there. Yeah, right here. Don't know what's caused that. Or it can't be corrosion. That silver line, it's like a high spot where it's either been squashed, banged, crashed, crunched. So much silicon. Something's taken a chunk out of the side here. Ever so slightly. And that could be something from even more like if the diff's exploded in the past. Be like a plane. A rock, yes, definitely. A rock. I had a front diff explode so bad once that we couldn't get the center out. Had to literally pull it out, pry it out with a crowbar. There's a lot of pitting and corrosion, so I mean that's a good reason why the Toyota gaskets are great, 'cause they're a thick gasket. Thick gasket with a bit of non-hardening aviation sealer. Whew. All right, there's still a bit of stuff coming out of the diff hole. There's lots of dents in the bottom, but that's from something trying to get out, not something trying to get in. All right, glove change. Now, the stud install. What is that? Will be a little bit quicker. I need specs for the all right, so I've got to remember where those two longer studs go. Oh, great, they don't have a torque spec. Awesome. Nuts will have a spec. $72 Newton meters. Great. All right. So, like I was saying before, with the stud, that'll be a 17, I think. All right. Actually, one thing I was going to show you is our carrier service bracket. This is our tool that we use for to service a diff, rebuild a diff, whatever you want to call it. Now, pretty sure it's that one and that one. That one and that one. Yep, either side of the. There you go. I should never forget that. Now these come with like a seal or Loctite on them already. Just do it up till it seats and just a little, and that's about it. Did I see what I thought I saw? Oh, there you go. It's supposed to be separated. So this front plate is actually attached to the it's part, it's assembled. So when I was tightening up, I could see Caro coming out of the gap. I've never seen it before, but I think it's welded all around this side, so it should be okay. But it's just something I haven't seen before. And then, so once it's tight, you just undo it, and that's it. It comes undone. And that's one stud done. And then you just do that with your 9 remainder. So this is where you can insert the Benny Hill music on fast forward. Also, you know. I suppose the studs almost pull this into itself as well. So I'm not a diff housing builder. Let me get the others. Come to the party, everyone. And a drink, because it's hot. I think last time I was doing this, I had hay fever or something like that. I think I couldn't stop coughing or clearing my throat. It was terrible. So if you're not going to use the factory Toyota studs, always make sure you put some sort of sealant on them when you put them back in to stop anything coming out from your studs. You know, Loctite's good, but you don't want to Loctite stuff in too hard, otherwise it's going to come back and bite you if you need to get them out. Like you better Loctite all those in, or use a weak Loctite, not a hardcore Loctite. I had a cylinder head come in. I can't remember what I've spoken about or not. I had a cylinder head come in not long ago, and it was like the block was never prepared from the last time it was from when it was taken off. So they just pulled the head off, slapped the head on it, and sent it, and it got about 2,000 Ks, I think. Don't know why you wouldn't. Laziness, probably. Lack of knowledge. Some people think. Sorry, just plugging the charger in so I don't go flat on you. Lack of knowledge. All that sort of jazz. But look, in this day and age, there's almost nearly no excuse for it because knowledge is at your fingertips everywhere. Like there is stuff. When I did my apprenticeship, we used to ring up the old VACC Tech Talk line just to get torque specs and things like that, and you'd have to wait for someone to ring you back, and they'd fax something through, or you'd have the old service. It used to be like this big service book that come out, and it had all the common cars with their spark plug gaps, common oil filter types, oil capacity, oil type, gearbox diff, all that sort of stuff, capacities, lubricants, what grease you need to do, where all the grease points were. And it was like 4 inches thick. These days you can really point your phone at something and say, how do I do this? And it'll do it for you. I'll tell you, since I've been driving that 40, I love that 40. So good. My mate Borgie said to me, he's like, I don't think you realise how cool that thing is. And I don't know. But every time I drive around, someone gives you a wave or gives you a compliment or something like that. The kids love it. That's what I love about it. The kids love it. They want to be picked up in school all the time. I pick them up from school and that. My eldest loves sitting in the back. Some people give you funny looks, not understanding that you got seatbelts in the back and all that sort of jazz. Definitely not fast. The aircon still works a treat since I fixed that pipe. What did that grab? Oh no, my little ball bearing's on its way out in the stud installer. That's not good. What's that, lifetime warranty? Anyone else having a watch, feel free to say g'day. Ask a question. Or to sit in silence and watch in the corner. That green stuff's actually quite soft. It's on the base of those studs. It's white stuff. And it's funny. You think I'd actually strategically park those two troopies there, but I didn't. For the video, that's just how they were. So I think this car might be a bit hard on the gear as well because the tail shafts are new, and if the tail shafts are out of balance, I think last time I mentioned the transfer case, back of the transfer case has a bit of play. It actually chewed the shim out and started spinning the bearing in the housing, so we had to put a new shim in it and a new housing on the back, new second hand. All right. And the Toyota and their wisdom of packages way too well. And I'll try and not break the gasket while I'm doing their tape. So this Toyota diff gasket, yeah, like it's not even like supporting its own weight, you know. Some other ones you get, and it's just like paper, they just fall down. But what I am going to do though is I'm going to apply some of that non-hardening sealant. So you can come and join me over here in a second. Just make some room. All right. You're a bit crooked there, but what do you do? Now, I need to find a bit of cardboard and get my gasket and just paint some of this stuff on. I've been using it for years. And so this goes black tacky. Black tacky sealant stuff. This will do. So organisation, it'll be the death of me. Right. We can use that. You just get an old box. No flat, so you got your gasket there. Can you see that? Yeah, beautiful. Permatex. It's sticky stuff, which is painful, but like when it gets on everything, because it's not hardening, it still makes a mess of the bottle. There's not many things that'll get it off either. When you're wearing gloves, it sticks to everything. I'll just give it a stir. Just paint it on. I find it just sort of goes into any sort of slight low spots or anything like that, but it's not like silicone where it squishes the gasket out or anything, because it goes very tacky. So you probably don't even need a gasket, but it's one of those things that was always sort of, drilled into me, and then I've always done it, and I use it on things like if you get a water pump that goes through like a water jacket, put it on there because it doesn't sort of wash away. It'll stick to the bolt that's exposed in the water jacket, and it'll just stay there till next time. So it's not going to roll through your cooling system and stick to everything. It just sort of sticks to what it has to. How am I going to do this? All right. Pick up the gasket. Pick up you guys. Oh, charger. Attached to a cord and everything. All right. Here we are. Back on deck. Oh no, have I got the wrong gasket? I have. I've got the wrong gasket. I've got a front gasket, not a rear. Rookie mistake. Cut that out, please. Rookie mistake. Oh well. Lol. Grab the front instead of a rear. Oh no, what have I done? I've misplaced you. Oh no, I didn't. Now I need a rear one. Hang on. Bloopers. I won't have one now. No, it's only got heaps. All right. I'll grab where it's supposed to be. Maybe I'll just grab the front one instead of the rear one. Oh, that'll do it. Oh, hang on, I know what's going on here. Maybe. Maybe not. No, I grabbed the 160 instead of 60. That was my fault. Do, 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 do. Oh dear. Hang on. What do we got here? That's another front one. Oh no, what have we done? I was all prepared. I'm like, I have my gasket here ready, waiting, all sorted. Now this has happened. Oh, I need to call CMS. He'll have the parts on the shelf for sure. See, look, everyone makes mistakes. I've sent myself the wrong gasket. Ooh. Interesting. Wonder where the other one is then. Don't tell me I haven't got a diff gasket. This is ridiculous. Oh. No, it's supposed to be there. So I don't know. I might have made myself a bit of a mistake here. I can't turn this off either, but the show must go on. Surely. The front one too. You just have to fast forward through, through this because I'm in a bit of a pickle. I've got a factory locker one. Look, that actually might work. Maybe. It still might work. It's just got a slightly different cutout on it. There's still enough surface on it. They've just been put in the wrong spot. All right, we're back. Don't yell at me. I'm sorry. So they go there like that. Yeah, look, see? This will work. Even though it's a factory diff lock gasket. You see that? Yeah. See this cutout here? That's where your factory diff lock motor and actuator and everything goes. But it still seals that surface. So that's fine. It's not going to hurt this car whatsoever. And you could still run a non-factory gasket on a diff lock car. You would just have to cut that section out. Well, that was mildly embarrassing. But what do you do? Let's get myself back on board here and watch all the laughy comments, I'm sure. No one said a thing. Oh, we've got no watches. Oh, dear. Oh, well. As I said, these things happen. What do you do? I thought I had the right gasket. All right, now I'm just going to quickly paint this while you guys just hang out there waiting more for me longer. There's no point bringing you back over again to paint another one. But yeah, that small difference in that cutout's not going to hurt this at all. And it's also good to know that these fit, because if you're ever in a pickle and you're like, oh no, I can't get anything, I can only get a factory locker gasket. At least now you know a factory locker gasket will fit. You're not sort of in a predicament going, oh, do I order it? Do I not order it? You know, it's definitely going to fit, and you're not going to be stuck with a part you can't use. Let's paint some of this one here. I know it's on the gasket, but I like to just make sure it's around the base of my studs and all that sort of stuff. And it's easy to clean off. Like once if you're ever pulling it off, it's not, a bit of carby cleaner gets your stuff off. Don't tell anyone I told you that though. Brake cleaner hates it. Doesn't like brake cleaner. It laughs at brake cleaner. But carby cleaner destroys these rubber gloves or these, black gloves and everything. Carby cleaner is lethal stuff. Beautiful. All right. We're back on track. Thanks for bearing with me there. It's like watching myself. That's me. We're all human. Everyone messes up. But I feel like that's what the pressure is put on everyone these days. Is there's so much pressure from customers and all that sort of stuff that, everything's gonna be perfect like first go. There's no, I don't know. I just feel a lot of people are, not everyone, but just a lot of people are very demanding, and if you forget something, it's just like it's just like I'm sorry, it's an inconvenience, I know, but what do you do? Well, everyone just seems to want something there, and then if you haven't got it, it's like, how come you haven't got it? It's just the world we live in now. Just gonna clean my floor. All right, now I can get my. You're gonna be able to see me, all right, with this thing. I'll try my best. Actually, I'm gonna have to move you back just a little bit so I can get my thing in place. Maybe I can go. Hang on. Try and make it as cinematic as possible. Poor phone charger. There you go, look at that. So what we're going to do, the diff is going to need to rotate, obviously. Where are we going this way? Hang on. I need to move my, spread my leg distribution. doesn't want to tip over the lifter. Across. Much easier than trying to lift this in by yourself. That's for sure. I just noticed when it was bouncing before, the wheels are starting to get a bit weighted forward. Right, we can just slowly start to ease ourselves in here. Need to wind. Diff up a little bit. Sorry. Oh, what did I do there? Kicked you. Hey, look, you could lift it in. 2 people. No one wants to be a hero these days. Oh, you don't want to hurt your back. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, can you still even see? Just. Sorry, I moved the tripod. I didn't realise. Okay. Now that's on. Put some washers on. Now put new washers on because if the other ones have been torqued down to within an inch of their lives all the time, always genuine Toyota, they'll have creases in them and all sorts. There's a flatten around on these, so I'll put the flat on this side and the round on the outside. That'll allow for any squish to take place. See, I haven't got gloves on. I'm already getting that black stuff on my hands. Rookie mistake. All right, now. I need some nuts and gloves and a drink. I'll tell you what, a beverage would be lovely right about now. Around the outside in the whip. Some of the comments I don't follow exactly because I'm not sure at what context you're responding to, or what time of the chat. 4, 5, 6. I might replace all the trash to these. Yeah, I might replace the nuts too. I think they've lost their if they've been stretched with the stud on the thread after looking how badly that thing was reefed on. All right, now I wonder if I can bring you back. Bring you back to here. So I can tighten these up. I can remove my little jig. Okay, now I'm just going to use the. I'm going to use a little rattle gun just to zip them. I don't want to rattle them to tension them. I just want to zip up the nuts, so it's not going to hurt them in any way. Well, that's enough there. Now what I should be able to do now is undo this. There we go. I did find the nuts. Clearly, I'll just put them in. So that's a little jig, which is great. That's what I was looking for the other week when I pulled it out. I found our another diff tool, which did the job anyway. So yeah, magnet. Zip these up. Okay, remember what I said before about diff carrier tension? I cannot. Diff carrier 72 Newton meters. So I'll bring out old trusty snap-on tension wrench. It's another one of my favourite tools. Or not, because it's got a flat battery. Surely not. Oh no, of course it will, because I'm on live TV. It doesn't want me to. Hey, here we go. I'm sure I've told you this before. It's one of my favourite tools. Some of these aren't done all the way yet. This rattle gun's a little bit over the top with its noise. It's not actually doing anything. Of course. Now, sometimes if you use an extension bar with a tension wrench, you can get like a loss of torque through twists through your extension bar. Just keep that in mind. Oh, that's 64, and look, to me, that actually... I don't want to go much tighter than that. Try another one. I'm gonna consult a manual about this because I'm not confident in that. And as I said, with that much information at our fingertips, why would you bother risking it? One moment, please. Well, I could have all these talk specs listed in front of me. It's probably the wise thing to do. But this is almost like half the fun. You're sort of watching a video where you can learn something. You're also just there watching. It's like being with a mate. All right, total anchors, 70 series. Technical specifications. 4.2 diesel. Tightening torques. Righto. Of course it's not on here. Oh dear. There is hope. There is hope. All right. Going old school here. All right, torque specs. Diff cover. Yeah, see, there you go. Diff carrier, 47. Online was wrong. Isn't that terrible? All right, so now, if that's the case, what do I do? Two of them up to pass that. I'll have to replace those nuts. But there you go. Like, you look at something, it tells you, it's like, nah, this is what it is. And just by feel, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Should have looked at the manual before. So that one there was a little bit. All right. That's much better feeling. Well, what I might do after this though is I'll go back over the video and find out which ones went over torque, and I might just replace those studs just for the sake of it, because I don't want this to bite me in the bum. So for the exercise, this is how you tighten them up. But so for those two that went over, I reckon I'll just replace those studs, put some new washers on them. They'll probably be fine, but I don't want to risk it. So 47 is a much better feel. 72. What are they thinking? Now you might ask, why am I going over these over and over and over again? Because in case it moves. Just because the tension's right doesn't mean that it hasn't moved. All right. There you go. The video was a bit of a flop in the sense that I lost the gasket and then I got the wrong torque spec, but at least we know now. So I'll fix that, and then next video I will do handbrake stuff, I reckon. Thanks for watching, legends.